All right, everybody. Good evening. It's Peter Vexelman and Julie Buse
Hey guys.
on the other side. And Tuesday Night Live. It's Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. It might be either Eastern time zone, which means you're at 7, a little bit earlier where you are. Uh, no matter what, we both appreciate you joining us. I'm here from my place in town in Atlanta. Julie is all the way about an hour and a half north of me up in Dahlonega, Dawsonville. They're all the same.
Monica.
Dahlonega, Georgia.
Mhm.
She's like way past Lake Lanier there. We're actually along the side of Lake Lanier. And guys, we're excited to be here. As you guys are dialing in, we're going to just take a couple minutes, welcome you guys aboard, and again, tell you how excited we are that you all are here, making commitment, both not really just to us, not to us at all, but to yourselves. And
Mhm.
this is great. Julie and I have been doing these for a long, long time. It's a commitment that she and I have made, and we really made corporately for uh, quite a long time here in a
Mhm.
partner-driven community to do these Tuesday night webinars. And anyway, if you all are as you guys are dialing in, if you don't mind sharing where you're dialing in from, where you're calling in from, that's always great. Again, Julie and I are East Coast, but I know we got people all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast. So if you don't mind sharing where you guys are dialing in from, that would be awesome.
Yeah, we got a Ken. He's in Daytona Beach. Brad, always there from Marietta, Georgia. Glad to have you with us tonight. Um, we also have someone from Portland, Oregon. Um, Tremaine is from Las Vegas. We got Minnesota, Dallas, Texas. So kind of all over the place. I mean, it's far away as Portland, Oregon, which is about as far away from here as you could get besides Alaska, right? All the way from the beautiful state of Texas and the beautiful north of the country, Minnesota. So glad to have you on. Thank you guys for letting us know exactly where you are around us. I mean, we really, really appreciate you letting us know, where you are. It kind of gives this like feeling of, hey, you're kind of with us in our homes. At least for me, it makes me feel that way because tonight you are in my home. Actually, this is my upstairs loft at my home where my cool little office is and my background of treasures. Funny thing is, Peter, I don't know if I told you this, but we've been doing these flips.
Yep.
These are my flip treasures. Like just
Flip
the
treasures. Oh, stuff you've been picking off from the houses.
yes, just like cool little items. I mean, long ago I had to stop bringing stuff home. As many of you know, that's like hoarder activity. But I've got lots of treasure back here in the background that I keep, in my office. But I mean, like Peter says, I mean, this is something Marty says, yeah, flip treasure, smiley face. If you don't mind, I know it's kind of weird. I'm going to show you a couple. Here's one. I got a whole box of wooden ducks one time. Strangely enough, I don't know why. I just thought they were the coolest thing ever, to have these mallards and these different ducks as decorations. So that's just one of the treasures. But it's just, kind of a little bitty tiny thing. When you're in this business, some of the tiny little things are what really make you happy. Like dealing with the sellers, my favorite, getting tiny little flip treasures, right? I'm sure Peter has some of his favorite parts of the business as well.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's the funny thing is, as long as the many years we've been working together, this is literally like a tidbit that I just found out about you that I never ever knew about you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, my to this day, there's no question. My favorite part is still when I pick up that phone and I got a text message from Mary that we closed another deal. I mean, to me, that is like the ultimate high of this business. Yesterday, last night, I got a text from Mary saying that we had closed another one of our partner deals in Ohio. And I think that was our third deal that we did with our partner there. And I tell you, and we've been working in that area for quite a while now, but I'll tell you, the excitement of it, the juices that flow when you get these kind of texts, to me, by far, that is like the ultimate high in this business, the closings. And it really doesn't even matter how big the deal is. I mean, The day before that, we closed the deal with one of our partners. I think it was, I'm trying to remember. God, I want to say Kevin, but um, can't remember who that guy was.
So yesterday was Dennis Gartland.
Well, yesterday was Dennis, and I think the day before was it Kevin? God, I can't remember.
Yeah, yes, and then we also had Dale the week before.
Dale the week before, and Dale's doing another deal this week, I think, from what I understand.
He's
And it's
closing
just,
on it tomorrow, I think.
is that right? Yeah, man, it's just like so cool. And I think we closed another one today with the West Coast with Seth. Um, and so that's cool. So anyway, those are my personal highs in this business, hearing, watching for those text messages, and usually they just come in and they just say something like, 123 Main Street, X amount of dollars. And it don't matter how big the dollars, it could be a small, $5,000-$10,000 deal. It could be a big $70,000-$80,000 deal. I mean, those highs are still the same. So, well, cool. We'll maybe give it one more moment or so, and then we will get rolling with our Tuesday night webinar. And again, thanks. We really do. I know I could speak on Julie's behalf. I know summers are hectic. End of summers are even more hectic. People are trying to get things in. It's the last week at the pool. It's the last, vacation that you could possibly take potentially. I know a lot of school systems are on their fall breaks now. But it's really cool to both of us to see that you guys are still committed and still dialing in. And that's a big, I can tell you, that's a big deal for Julie and I. Again, it's a commitment that she and I have made for a very, very long time. And I don't see this type of a commitment ending. So let's get rolling, guys. And the way we like, and by the way, guys, we got a phenomenal topic today. It's something that is really important that each and every one gets a handle on what we're going to discuss tonight. Today's a topic that really doesn't matter what level you're at, just beginner, intermediate, or an advanced investor. This is going to make sense to you. This is going to be logical to you. This is going to be like, okay, I see why they're doing this. And it's going to be very powerful. And so we're going to get into that in just a minute. And it might not be like one of those kind of sexy kind of things. We're going to be talking about contracts, actually. But I could tell you guys, there's a couple of things in this business that are small things, that could be big things. And this is one of them. Nobody really sometimes thinks about contracts too much. You're like, well, I'll use this, I'll use that. And this little piece of instrument, this thing called the contract that we're going to go over with you guys here soon and talk about. It is an absolute critical part of this business. So we'll get into that. But before we do, we'd like to talk to you about why we do these webinars. A lot of times people literally ask, well, why do you all do these every Tuesday night? Why not do it Wednesday, or why not take a break, or what's the point, or who's the audience? And as long as we've been doing them, I realize there's really two types of audience that dial into these, that are listening to us tonight. The first type is you are not, or you're not quite part of what we call our family. You're not part of our partner community. And what that simply means is that we're not doing deals with you. Really in the end, if you think about it, if you guys are listening to us, really you should, as far as I know, people all want to be in real estate because they want to do deals. I've never seen anyone get in real estate because they enjoy swimming, or they like fixing cars, or, they like being part of the chess club. Everybody wants to get to the real estate. Their number one objective is they want to get a real estate deal done, because nothing happens good in real estate unless you get those deals done. You could be the smartest investor. You could be the most tactical investor. You could be the wealthiest investor. You could be all of those. But I guess what? Until deals get done, it ain't nothing for nothing. And I will tell you, deals is not only what this business is all about, it is actually the hardest part of this business. And so we have a very unusual corporate model in that our model really centers around our partners all over the United States. That's really what our model is. We have stopped in essence, doing our own deals quite a while ago. And we still do the one-offs. Deals still come to us just because of who we are and how long we've been doing it. But pretty much 95% of all of our focus corporately as an investment company is on partners all over the United States. That's right. I mean, for 20 years in this business, thousands of deals behind us. You think if anybody should be like a freestanding operation, it should be us, right? We have the credibility in the market. We have ability to close on deals. We have the financial wherewithal. Like if you think about it, if somebody should be doing this by themselves, it's like the perfect epitome of that would be us. But guess what, guys? We are not that. What we are is we're a partner-driven real estate investment company. Because even at the levels that we've achieved and the successes we've achieved and the credibility in the marketplace we've achieved, we have also realized a while back that we are stronger as a unit working with partners than we are as a unit by ourselves. So the first type of audience that's here tonight is you guys are not quite our partners yet for whatever reason. You might just gotten to know us. You might have just heard about us. You might have been following Julie and I for a while and you're still trying to figure this whole thing out. It might really be just the fact that you're just not quite comfortable with us and who we are and what we do and what this partner model is all about. And so you keep on coming back on Tuesday nights and you kind of keep on feeding off of us. You get to the point where you're like, okay, I got it. I get it. I'm ready to roll with these guys. And that's the first type of audience that is listening to us tonight. And guys, we welcome you. We appreciate you're here. But Julie and I make no beef about it. Our goal is to get you to ultimately be a partner of ours because we want to do more deals, and we do more deals by connecting with more partners across the United States. We think we bring great amount of value to our partners from the standpoint of we coach them, we mentor them, we generate leads for them. We do light type of skip tracing for them, which is phenomenal. We provide the capital to do the deals, the capital to fix them. Our construction outfit actually helps you fix it right there where you live. We sell and we split the profits. We feel like this is the it's hard. Sometimes when you talk about yourselves, what you do, it almost sounds like boastful. I'm going to tell you right now, from a guy that's done this for 20 years, and I think I speak on Julie's behalf from somebody that's headed up this operation for many years, we feel like this model is the best thing since sliced bread. We feel like from a partner's perspective, it's a no-lose proposition. And so for those of you that model makes sense to, and you feel like we're the kind of partners that you want to partner with, great. Sometime tonight or after the webinar, or if you're listening to us in a recorded format, we encourage you all to visit our website at www.partnerdriven.com. There you could learn more about all the benefits of partnering with us. And if you still love it at that point, as we feel like you will, you need to just put your information in there. One of our team members will touch base with you. Before you know it, literally, we could be doing deals right in your marketplace. Mm-hmm. The second group of people that's listening to us tonight, you guys are already part of our part of our family. You're already part of our community. You are one of our partners. And this is just another way for you to connect with us. Now, we connect with you on a much higher level. You have the ability to connect with us literally on a daily basis in a group format and the one-to-one individually. But guys, I also understand this because 20 years ago, I was where so many of you guys are. I was kind of hanging anything I could grab from my coaches back then and mentors and guys that I felt so like, that they were paving the pathway for me. I was all over that. And so some of you guys already are partners and you're just here to learn more, to get yourself educated more, to get closer to Julie and I, to kind of feel like you're more part of the family. And guys, we love it. We love it. We welcome you guys. Speaking of welcoming you guys, I do want to let you know, we do, and I think I shared with you all last week, but we do have our date finalized for our next live event. And I'm going to tell you right now, block it off. It's going to be phenomenal. It's back here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be August 11th and 12th. Wait, not August 11th, 12th. It's going to be January 11th and 12th of next year. And guys, I know when I say next year, some people think, well, I'll handle it then. Next year is just a couple months away. We're going to have a registration page for you guys up and running here very shortly in the next couple weeks, if not sooner. but just block it off. Weekend of 11th and 12th of January. We are going to have a small nominal fee to get into this one. Nothing more than just a way to make sure people show up and all this, but it won't be prohibitive from anybody. And whether you're a partner or if you're ready to be a partner, you need to be there. I mean, we're already planning it. We already had our first planning session, 3-4 months ahead of time. And I can tell you it's going to be groundbreaking. So you're either part of our partner-driven community or you're hopefully going to be part of our partner-driven community. And we welcome you all here tonight. We got a great topic. And guys, on this one, I'm going to let Julie take the lead on it. But I want to tell you, kind of give you a little bit from my perspective, why I feel this is such a great and important topic. You hear me talk about it all the time. There's the must-haves in this business, and there's must-haves but low priority in this business. And for instance, the ability to be a great negotiator. I think you can't go wrong with that skill set. I mean, nobody has ever gone wrong in real estate by being a great negotiator. No one's ever gone wrong in real estate by being a terrific marketer. There's some skill sets that are just I feel like my ability to negotiate has tremendously helped me in the real estate business. But there's also this other side of this business that it's important, but there's no question it's not like at the top of the food chain. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's this side of the business that's important. That's not part of the food chain. I've seen this destroy more investors than this. I mean, I don't think, maybe not being able to negotiate at my level, it's not going to destroy you. So instead of getting a deal for 100,000, you get it for 90,000, or maybe 110,000. Well, okay. So, I'm 20 years into it. I should be making 10 grand more because I'm a better negotiator. Okay. So as interesting as it is, this side, which is the critical side, the money-making side, is not the destroyer side. The destroyer side is all the details in this business. It's the stuff like the construction side. I'm going to tell you right now, I make no beef about it. 20 years into this thing, I mean, I literally had to have our social media team come here and set up, lighting around me. I mean, I don't even know how to set up, this lighting stuff. I'm just, when it comes to construction, light bulbs confuse me and nails confuse me and all this. But guess what? More people have been sunk as a result of construction than I think anything else in this business. So here's the point. This is the side that none of us kind of consider sexy, but this is critical. And here's the thing. This is the side, and this is one of the pieces we're going to talk about tonight. This is the side that you're going to have to ultimately make a decision. Either you're going to do it or you're going to have somebody else do it. For instance, the construction piece. I make no beef about it. I know nothing about it. Don't understand it. Don't want to understand it. But guess what? For 20 some years, I've had people that have been able to head up that side for me. Right now we're with an incredible outfit that's doing construction for us, taking a property out in up north for us here shortly. And it's just a phenomenal outfit. When we get together with him, it's all over my head, but I know I could count on them. Well, that's the piece we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about this side of the business that is absolutely like a must-have. And really the only decision you have to make today is, are you going to be spearheading this side, the paperwork contract side, or are you going to let somebody else? But no matter what, you should at least be aware conceptually how this thing functions. And let me tell you why. In the beginning, and I know most of you that listen to us tend to be on the beginning side. In the beginning stages, you're going to have to handle this piece. So what we're going to talk about today is inescapable. It's undeniable. You will have to somehow, somewhere along the line, confront contracts. And I could tell you, if you don't understand, at least to a certain level, contracts, and if you don't have the right contracts protecting you, you could be screwed. I mean, I told the story so often, but it's so true. I still remember about 20 years ago, we're going to pretend this is a contract. I know it's not, but it's a contract. And I remember I put a property under contract with a pretty big investor here in Atlanta. His name is Mike. Julie, you might know Mike. He's still around. And this is how I got to know Mike. And Mike and I are pretty cool with each other now, but back then I was just some newbie. Mike was in a business already 7 or 8 years ahead of me. And I put one of his properties under contract because I thought it was a good deal. And somewhere along the line, and what I thought was during the due diligence, and I thought I wasn't totally in the right, I just kind of bailed on the deal. I remember I faxed him something saying, hey, Mike, I'm out, blah, blah, blah. And then like an hour later, I get a fax back. And it literally said something like, well, I guess I'll see you in jail. And let me tell you something, like right now I get that kind of thing and I'm like laughing it off. 20 years ago, I almost died. Because I really didn't understand. I'm like, really? I'm going to go to jail for this? I truly believed that what I did was a jailable thing. I didn't know what I did, but I figured if somebody like Mike was telling me I'm heading to jail, I'll possibly maybe heading to jail. And because very simply, Mike understood contracts back then better than I understood contracts. And because I made some errors in the contract, obviously there was not going to be any kind of jail time, but he had leverage over me. You see, he literally, by understanding how the contracts work, he had the ability to bully me into doing something I really did not want to do. And so these kinds of things, they're not just important from a standpoint, well, you should know how to use it and how to utilize it and what it's all about. These are tools that could be used for or against you. And the quicker you understand how to utilize these tools to help you, again, it's just another piece in your ornament to make this thing move forward. So anyway, guys, I think you get it by now, what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to let Julie take the lead because she's phenomenal at this. She deals with this on a daily basis with all of our partners. I know we got a ton of these contracts out with our partners and just coordinating it all. And to me, it's just a nightmare unto itself. But because our contracts are done the right way, written the right way, everybody in our operation could always go to sleep feeling very comfortable that they're going in the right direction and they're protected legally. All right, Julie, what you got?
Okay, so first off, I'm going to share with you guys the contract. We're going to go through it line by line by line. In my opinion, understanding your purchase contract is the most valuable possession you're going to have in this business because there's parts of this contract that are also negotiable. Everybody wants to talk about the price. The price, the price, the price. Yes, the price does matter, okay? However, giving yourself enough time to complete a deal is often just as valuable as your purchase price, okay? So this contract is available for our partners, and this is what we provide to you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. All right, Peter, do you see my screen of the purchase contract?
I see it.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, guys, so if you'll notice, our purchase contract is all of 2 pages. We are not licensed real estate agents, so this is a contract based between you as the investor or us as the investor and the actual seller of the property, okay? So let's go ahead and get started, learning this line by line. Dated this blank day of blank. Obviously, that's pretty self-explanatory. Here after the buyer, I've got our company name in here. So if you were with our partners, one of our company names would be on here, or for yourself, your company name would go on here. And blank, seller. Now, for a lot of you, you're going to think, okay, that's self-explanatory. Absolutely, yes, it is. Strangely enough, this is one of the most important parts of this contract, the seller. So you have got to make sure that you check the tax records. And whoever is on the title of this house has to be on this contract, right? Talk about mistakes. It's kind of funny, now, and it seems self-explanatory. But back in the day, one time, it was like a husband and wife, like John and Jane Smith, that owned the house. I only had John Smith on here, and John Smith was the only person to sign the contract. Guess what happened at the day of closing? Miss Jane did not sign the contract. Miss Jane was not on the contract, but yet she was on the title. So guess what happened? I lost the deal at closing for something as simple as the actual seller. So being able to look up the tax record and making sure that every person that is on title actually signs this contract and is listed by a seller. Now, for time purposes, I'm not going to go into trust. I'm not going to go into probate deals because that's another scenario. But basically, you want whoever's on title to be as a seller on this property. And all appropriate signers need to sign the property, sign the actual contract. Now, it said hereby into this contract for the cell located at blank. That's going to be the actual physical address of the property. You want to make sure you've got the full address, including the zip code, the city, the state. If for some reason you're using, like if you're doing a condo or maybe a townhouse, you want to make sure you have your unit numbers, okay? Also, let's say you're buying a property with another piece of land that's deeded to a separate one. You're going to want to have two separate contracts for that, all right? Next, this is a beautiful part. This contract is fully assignable, okay? What that means is that I'm able to place this property under contract with the seller. I am able to assign this contract between our company and maybe another investor. This holds true, especially when you're wholesaling, okay? So if you plan on wholesaling a property and you do not have a stipulation in there that the contract is assignable, you cannot assign this contract because when you're wholesaling, you're not selling houses, okay? Get that in your mind. You're not selling houses. You're selling the rights to your contract. So you want to make sure that that contract is fully assignable. If you're going to fix and flip a house, if you're going to double close on a property, this may not be as big of a deal, but it's something I just leave in all of my contracts so that no matter what, I've always got an option here. And by the way, guys, you can put your questions in the comments section. Because I'm running the webinar tonight, I cannot see the questions and do this at the same time. However, I'll get to that towards the end of this, okay? Purchase price. The purchase price paid by buyer in U.S. funds will be in the amount of blank, okay? So that is the price that you've negotiated for the purchase price of the property, okay? Next, terms, cash on closing. Really, in this contract, cash at closing is more of like a buzzword because whether you guys like it or not or know it or not, whenever you close on a property, it is cash at closing, no matter if you're getting a loan or a hard money loan or really cash, okay? The seller's still going to walk away with that amount, right? So hold on, Mr. Morgan. I'll go through that. Go ahead and I'm going to answer this question. He said, please review if you have a land property attached to the house and needing two contracts. If the house and that particular land is all deeded to the same property, you only need one contract. But I've run into several cases to where like one house was on this bit of land, but yet they're selling this bit of land and another lot next to it. In that case, you would need two separate contracts. Got it, Mr. Morgan? Okay. Now, property inspection. Listen to me, okay? Peter may disagree. Somebody else may disagree. Having the adequate days of inspection is the absolute most important part of this contract, okay? I'm going to repeat that again. Negotiating your inspection period is one of the most important parts of your contract. Why do you ask? So during an inspection period, that allows you the right to inspect the property, to decide if you want to buy it or not. In the case of wholesaling, That's the amount of time in which you have to market your contract to other buyers, okay? So that's the amount of time you can back out of this contract. I'm not a person that's going to place a property under contract and back out after my inspection period. Even though this contract allows you to do so, that's kind of the standards that I put forth to myself, and as far as myself out in the marketplace, okay? Let's go through it line by line. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys. Like Peter said, this ain't super sexy stuff. But this is the property inspection. Buyer at buyer's expense, which is you or me, the person that's putting it under contract, shall have blank business days after the inspection hereof to have the property and all improvements, fixtures, and equipment inspected. Sellers shall cooperate in making the property reasonable and available for such inspection. Now, if you're wholesaling, you really want to try to get 30 days here, at least minimum 21 days. If you notice, I've put a cool word in here. Business days. That's going to give you 2 extra days a week, okay? This is a word that most people would not notice in the contract, okay? It's going to allow you a little bit of more of time. Buyer agrees to indemnify and hold seller harmless from any injury or damage caused by such inspection. It means if you go out there and you trip over a piece of wood and you fall and hit your knee, you're letting the seller know you're holding them harmless, okay? Which if you're inspecting houses, you've got to prepare on yourself. If buyer is not satisfied with the condition of the property as disclosed by such inspection, buyer may terminate the contract by delivering written notice of such termination to seller within the time frame set forth within these paragraphs. Buyer's due diligence period does not start until the date of inspection. Okay, so that is, let me turn my little clicker off here on my phone. So that's just saying that we shall terminate during the written notice time set forth within here, which is these business days here. Another important sentence, buyer's due diligence period does not start until the day of inspection. Another huge thing. There's many times in this business where you cannot get inside of a property when you get it under contract. This says that your inspection period never even starts until you can actually do an inspection of the property. Believe it or not, this happens quite often whenever you're going to put a house under contract and they're in the middle of evicting a tenant. Well, you don't need to let your inspection days run up while you can't get in the house. This is only holding it to where the inspection doesn't start until you can get into the house, okay? Closing costs, fees, and charges. Buyer's responsible, listen up, for owner's title policy, title insurance, title searches, recordings, and other fees needed to secure the title. That's basically saying we pay all of the closing costs, either to the title company or to your attorney, depending on what state you're in, because some states are title states and some states are attorney states. It's just saying we'll pay for those things to be done. Buyer is responsible for buyer's inspection, attorney's fees, and property-related insurance, association transfers fees. Seller is responsible for, here's another one. Seller is responsible for documentary state stamp taxes and surtax on deeds. In some states, there are transfer taxes. Like, for instance, the state of Florida. The state of Florida does not charge like state taxes to their residents. However, they tax other things, such as the sale of real estate. So, like, if you go to transfer a title, they're going to charge you 75% of 1% just to sell a property. We are telling the seller that is your responsibility. Basically, it all boils down to this. We pay all closing costs except for your taxes, okay? The way that I get out of that is I don't mind paying closing costs on any deal, but I ain't paying your taxes, right? That is just another line item in a tax that might apply to you in your state. Title insurance will be paid by buyer. If you are buying houses, you better be getting title insurance. I mean, there's not enough time on tonight's webinar to explain to you why you need title insurance on a property, but let me tell you, you do, okay? Taxes will be prorated to the date of sale, and buyer will be given a credit at closing for any and unpaid real estate taxes together with any and all penalties and interest. So that's saying, what's today, the 24th of September? Okay. So that means the actual seller is responsible for taxes from January 1st to the 24th. You as the buyer, if you're buying the house or if you're wholesaling it to another buyer, the other buyer is responsible for taxes from the 25th to the 31st of the end of the year. So that means if a seller has paid their property taxes up front, they will be credited the difference, the prorated amount between the September the 25th and December the 31st of this year, okay? That's all this contract is saying. Seller will provide a marketable title via general warranty deed with release of title to buyer and buyer's assignee free and clear of all liens unless otherwise noted. Seller is responsible for costs associated with a deed stamp. That's just me reiterating in states, and whether this could be used in multiple states, whether they have deed stamps or not. This is just in protecting us in multiple states. Saying at closing, whether a seller has liens on their property or not, at closing, I'm not going to buy a house that doesn't have a clean and clear title unless otherwise noted. And tonight, we're not going to get into those other strategies, but whenever you go to close on the property, your purchase price has to be able to afford to pay their liens. That's coming out of their proceeds, okay? And you're not even going to close on this house until the title company or the attorney's office has cleared up all of these issues on their title. This is letting the seller know you want a clean and clear title at closing. Now, our attorneys and our title companies are going to help us do this. However, that's what this is letting us know. Legal representation. Both parties have had an opportunity to seek legal counsel to advise them in this transaction. Pretty self-explanatory. Broker representations. Both parties warrant that they are not represented in this transaction by a licensed real estate broker and or agent, and no funds from the sale of this will be paid to a licensed real estate broker or agent. You are purchasing a property as an investor. You're not going through a realtor. So we're not using a broker to actually facilitate this deal like you would normally in normal buyers and sellers. Like if you're buying your own personal house, maybe, and you found it on the market. Parties agree that closing will take place on or before blank business days. You place a number here. Your inspection period is inside of your closing date. So let's say I put 30-day inspection period and a 35-day close. What that means is that 30 days of the 35 days is the inspection period, okay? But maybe you might choose a 45-day close. But your 30 days is still inside of your 45 days. It's not 30 plus 45. It's the 30 within the 45. Got it? Okay. And again, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box or in the personal chat, and I'll get to it in just a little bit. I know we're going through a lot here, so I want to get to all your questions. Fixtures. The sale shall include any and all fixtures of the property, included but not limited to heating and air conditioning unit, built-in appliances, curtains, curtain rods, blah, 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 exterior paint, trees, except for ones that follow. This is a wonderful line here, okay? If it is a fixture and you have agreed with a seller that they can take it, it needs to be noted right here in this contract. I'll give you an example. I went to buy a property, and the day before closing, I go and the seller took out all the cabinets, right? The light fixtures, the stove, everything. and expected me to pay full price for that property. Well, it wouldn't happen because when I went and viewed this property, the fixtures were there. Okay. So I did not have to close on that property because he did not go to what he agreed to. You cannot remove fixtures from a home from once you've first seen it. But let's say, for instance, that a seller has let's say a little chandelier in their dining room. That's considered a fixture. But then she said, well, my great-grandma gave me this, or my grandma gave me this fixture. I want to take it with me. Hey, that's fine, seller. I agree with you. So then I would place in my fixture section here where they're able to remove that fixture and take it with them. Certain stipulations like that need to be noted in the contract because they do matter. Let's see. This agreement and all provisions herefor shall be binding upon and ensure the benefit of all parties. Here, their respective heir, executive, administrative, legal representation, successors, and permitted assignees. This simply says that the seller is agreeing to sell this property, and none of their heirs can come back behind them and come and tell you that that's not a true statement. They can't go back later on this contract, right? Now, or their heirs or maybe lawyers or anything. This is just one other little tool inside of this contract that's going to help you. Investor, this right here is something you normally will not see on this contract. This right here is one thing that's made us super successful and one thing that is very, very, very different about our program. And okay, so let me explain another way to wholesale besides just signing a contract. We have the right, because of this contract, to pre-market the property onto the MLS before we ever close on this property. Okay? I know that sounds crazy because at the day of closing, we're actually going to double close this deal, meaning we are going to buy this deal, maybe even a couple hours later, sign it and sell it to someone else. Maybe it's a day later. You are not able to do this particular part of this contract unless you have the money up front to actually close on this deal. Okay? However, I'm going to go through it. Investor is authorized to market and advertise property for sale in any media of investor's choosing, including, but not limited to, the internet. Seller also grants investors to retain a licensed real estate broker of its choice to list and market the property through any multiple listing service in an attempt to procure buyer for the property in cooperation with other real estate brokers, investors, and individual buyers. Seller authorizes the investor's broker to advertise the property for sale. This line right here straight tells you we can list the property with a realtor. Okay? Everyone understand that? Great. This is your marketing clause. Super important if you're going to wholesale with us. If you are going to straight buy this property outright and fix and flip it, you can remove this. But this is one of the most important things in this contract. Special stipulations can be any stipulations that you might have. Here is the buyer's signature. Here are your seller signatures. If there are 4 sellers to this house, you need 4 different seller signatures, okay? Now, I know it's super boring of a concept tonight, but one of the most important things you'll ever learn is being able to walk a seller through this while you're doing this, right? Knowing this contract is uberly important. Now, I'm going to look through the questions here and see what maybe I've missed. If you've got any questions so far, please let me know, okay?
Good stuff, Julie. Good stuff. Like I said, there's times when we do this where we're all jumping up and down, high-fiving. When you go over contracts, that's not one of those times. I'm going to tell you right now, we corporately have invested a tremendous tremendous amount of money into this contract. I mean, I know Julie didn't really show a whole screenshot. She was kind of scrolling down, but this is now more than just a couple pages. And guess what, guys? As powerful as this contract is, we purposely make it short and simple because, you know, our opinion is very simple. You could actually overwhelm. There's a lot of areas in which the seller can get overwhelmed in this business. Remember, sellers are selling probably what is the most expensive piece of anything they own. I mean, they probably don't own cars this expensive, jewelry this expensive. This is the most valuable piece of possession they have. And so the whole process for sellers when dealing with real estate is very, very stressful. It's very intimidating for so many of them. And so what you don't want to do, in my opinion, is you don't want to show up to a seller and have a, you know, like these, you know, 30-page contracts. Again, all that's going to do is add fuel to the fire. That's another reason why that seller may not do a deal with you. That's another reason why that seller is going to want get their attorneys involved. That's another reason they might want to get a realtor involved. And let me tell you something, when sellers start saying things like that, hey, let me show it to my realtor buddy, you know, let me show it to my attorney. You know, when you got a basic contract like ours, we don't care. I mean, there's not much, you know, not many holes you could put into it. You got a 30-page contract that you think is so cool and so powerful. I'm telling you, that's, in my opinion, you're on your way to overwhelming the seller. So we follow the philosophy of the KISS philosophy, keep it simple, stupid. And we feel like in the real estate business, especially as it relates to contracts, that's a very important piece. Mm-hmm. And guys, let me tell you something. This topic that we covered today, this is the one topic that I believe is totally inescapable to you as an investor. You know, as you progress yourself through this business, you know, let's face it, if you're just getting started and you're doing your first, second, third deal, what are you going to do? Are you going to really hire somebody like a Mary that we have to handle all your contracts? No, of course not. So you're going to have to understand the process of contracting. You're going to have to understand the art of presenting this contract. You know, there's an actually art form to presenting it. Guys, do you know that it is arguable, and I would be one of those people that would argue this, that it is actually just as tough to get a contract back from a seller than it is to get that contract out to a seller. So that's a whole process in of itself of getting contracts back. So, you know, today we hit on a very important piece, but just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to contracts. And that is kind of going over the language, the lingo, the ins and out of that contract. But again, the whole art of negotiating, presenting it the right way, getting it back from the sellers in a timely manner, you know, not having them stressed out and wanting to show to the whole world that's a whole art form. And that is something that if you're a partner of ours, you're going to get access to, and you do get access to, you know, the other tidbits, those other things that come with being a savvy investor. And so, guys, as we roll another Tuesday night to a close, you guys know why we do this. We do this because we're in a search, we're in a hunt for more partners. Our partner program, we feel like, is the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to people wanting to be in this business. Because when you're part of our partner network, when you're part of our partner community, you're literally piggybacking off everything that we've done here. And guys, you're not just piggybacking off all the great things we've done here. You're piggybacking off all the mistakes we've made here. Let's face it, you know, in this business, we're into it for the upside. But let me tell you something. The downside of real estate is devastating. It has the ability to blow you out like that. One wrong decision, one wrong move, one wrong contractor, one wrong contract on the property, and you could be done. And so as a partner of ours, you get all of our tools, you get all our resources, you get all of our knowledge, as Julie showed you today. That is very important. For those of you that to the degree are like looking at this and saying, what the heck was she talking about? Let me tell you something, you need us. You need us, because this, make no mistake about it. You know, everybody tries to a certain degree dumb this business down, but in the end, this is a very sophisticated, complicated business. You know, contract work, contract negotiations, that's an art form unto itself. So as a partner of ours, you also get our knowledge, you get our coaching, you get our mentoring pretty much on a daily basis. We spend our own money generating leads for you. We do light skip tracing for you right in your market, which means we're able to identify number of owners right where you live that have the that have the best chance of selling their properties. We now have software available right for your phone in our deal driven app where you have the ability to just point and click at a property. You have the ability to point at a property and skip trace it. You have the ability to point at a property and do direct mail to it shortly. You have the ability to run your whole business from your phone. And as a partner of ours, guess what? You have that. Obviously, as we identify deals, we're going to supply you with all the money to get the deals done. Critical. We're going to provide all the capital to fix them. Our construction team is going to either overlook or participate or maybe even handle all the construction where you live. So don't you worry about construction when you're a partner of ours. And then when we put it in the market, we sell it, we're going to split the profits down the middle, 50-50. And that right there is our partner-driven real estate model. And if that's something you want to be a part of, then simply go to www.partnerdriven.com. There you can learn more about who we are, what we do. Put your information in there. Before you know it, you'll be talking to either one of us or one of our team members. Before you know it, we could be on our way to doing our next deal. Julie, what you got? Anything else you want to finish off with?
Yeah, I want to answer a few questions.
Okay.
And guys, I'm going to get to these real quick because I value your time, and I know, we normally do these in an hour. So I'm going to just get right to them, okay? Annette wants to know about the refrigerator. Is that the seller's? Generally, a refrigerator goes with the seller, okay? Word of advice when you're flipping a house, I've never, ever bought a brand new refrigerator to put in the house. If the other house, when I bought it, if it had a refrigerator in it, I'm putting it in the garage somewhere. But the refrigerator is possibly the seller's, depending if they want to take it or not. Neil wants to know if there are 4 sellers, they need to be listed on the first line. Yes, Neil, correct. And I would like for you to place them. Let's say it's 2 brothers and 1 sister. And I don't know why it would be this way. And they all had all the same last name. I want you to list out every seller: John Smith, James Smith, Tom Smith, their names individually, and all 4 of them needs to sign in the seller's tab at the bottom, which just would mean, Neil, I know you're a partner. We just need to add 2 more seller lines at the bottom. Mr. Morgan, if you are our partner, this contract is applicable in all states within our partnership. If you are not our partner, you need to get with a local attorney and decide if that's right for you, okay? I'm not going to vouch for anybody that's not our partner. And if you're not, you really need to do the research and figure out what's perfect for you in your state. I don't mean that to be ugly, but that's just what the advice I would give you there. Can I put my name in the contract as a buyer if I don't have an LLC yet? Yes, George, you can. However, if you are doing this business and you do not have a business set up like an LLC, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And you really need the protection of an LLC. I don't give business formation advice. However, you should be writing off gas money and all this good stuff. The benefits for having an LLC, and as easy it is to do, there's no reason why you should ever put your own personal name on a contract for many, many, many other reasons. I mean, you can go get a new LLC started with an attorney for like $400. So I suggest you have an LLC. My personal opinion, George. Hope that helped. Ezra, you are a partner. I see you have an issue with the unit section. Please email our office staff. You've got the email to let them know how it's in there. Or schedule a call with our office and we'll walk you through any question you may have. By the way, she just had a little technical question about some stuff within our program, and we're there 24/7. So just email support and we'll get you taken care of immediately. Do we have access to subject to contracts? We are going to help you with those subject to contracts. Subject to contracts are limited state by state by state, David. So you're originally going to put it under contract with the purchase contract, David. Buddy of mine, he's one of our partners, just talked to him today. But I will help you get these contracts when we run across a subject to deal. For those of you that are on there tonight, subject to is like maybe like another tier above wholesaling. But that's just one of the many things that we do in our partner program. Like, dude, an hour's just not enough to tell y'all about all the different deals that we could do. But actually Roland's on tonight. Funny thing is Roland and I are working on a subject to deal today. He found a seller, and we're putting that under contract. So David, one of our partners, Mr. Roland, is actually doing one. Go to the private Facebook page, Roland, and tell everybody about it. But and somebody wants to know what the upfront is to be in our partnership program. The best thing you can do is schedule a call. Let me put the link here. I hope you see it. It's if you go to callpeternow.com, you're going to be scheduled to talk with one of us. I want you to understand all the benefits before I throw pricing out there, okay? I don't throw pricing out ever on the internet. I don't want to decrease the integrity of the people that I already have. But if you would like to talk more with us one-on-one about our partnership program, just schedule a call with us. I mean, it's worth your time. How soon can we close once we sign in the contract? It just depends. Are we doing a wholesale deal? Are we doing a subject to? Are we doing a fix and flip? I can't answer questions like that without really knowing what type of deal that we're doing. And if I'm explaining anything to you guys, look, you can join all types of programs out there. Ones that are about buy and holds, ones that are about wholesaling, ones that are fix and flips, ones that are subject twos. My goal, and if you'll realize, I'm not on the sales side. I'm not a super big salesman as it comes to wanting you to join our partnership program. But let me tell you what I do, is I work with our clients one-on-one so that you're not missing any deal. If I can help you do a deal to where you're only making $3 or $4 grand and I see an opportunity there, I'm going to teach you and help you along the way. And that's going to be how some of these deals are. Okay. But this contracts thing is just one more part of what we do. And you knowing that is super important. Can we pencil in the extra lines for sellers, Keith? Keith is another one of our partners. Thanks. Hey, thank you guys for being on tonight. Love y'all. But absolutely, when we send you the contracts, Keith, you can have them requested in Word so that whenever you can add extra lines and you really just kind of copy and paste the line there to create extra line for sellers. But well, guys, I appreciate this evening. It is 8 o'clock. I hope you enjoyed tonight, and really I hope you learned a few things. If you're not even one of our partners, I said a few things tonight that no matter if you're out doing deals on your own or if you're working with another team of some sort, these are things that are applicable no matter what, right? So understand your contracts, understand the importance, and be great at it. Because when you're going to negotiate with sellers, being able to understand the contract is like uberly important. But like Peter said, if you would like to learn more about how to be one of our partners, all you got to do is visit our website at partnerdriven.com or just schedule a call with us, which is my favorite way because I'm one of those people that I like to talk to somebody. You just go to callpeternow.com. One of our people will give you a call and answer any question that you may have. I'm going to type this in here for you one more time. But that's all I've got, and I've really enjoyed spending my Tuesday night with y'all.
We enjoyed it, guys, as always. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Thanks, guys.
Bye.